Hello, how's it going? Welcome to the Housing Podcast. I'm your host, Tim McDANIEL, and this is where you will find all things housing. Whether you're a family looking to find affordable housing or purchase your first home, or if you're a business owner, a professional, a housing person who loves serving people with housing services or investing in real estate. Hey, we're happy for you to be here. We got a cool topic. It's specifically about secrets, right? Who doesn't like secrets? We're giving out pretty much a couple of our secrets for people that's interested and getting subsidized housing. Mostly people understand subsidized housing as Section 8, but just to give you a quick list of different types of subsidized housing resources. You got your emergency housing voucher, you got your housing choice voucher, you got your homeless incentive voucher, you got your rapid rehousing, you got your rapid recovery housing, and that's just to name a few. Right. So when I say subsidized housing, we're literally talking about any type of subsidy that assists a family with their rental payments. Okay. So straight just getting started, right? I got a couple of questions for you. Like, if you're somebody who's looking for housing, right? Like where do you go to look for affordable housing? Like, have you thought about, or where have you gone, in your recent history? Most people, they go to, maybe they go sign up on the public housing authorities waiting list, right? And I want to discuss going to your housing authority waiting list and what exactly does that mean. Okay, so when you go to your public local housing authority, we call it PHA for short, right? So if I use PHA, I'm talking about public housing authority. There's over 3,600 public housing authorities in the United States. And just here in California, there's probably about 80. Okay. And then here in Los Angeles, we have about 6. Okay. You got your Los Angeles City, you got your Los Angeles County, you got your Inglewood Housing Authority, Long Beach, you got your Southgate, you got your Compton, right? So there's different housing authorities within these jurisdictions. And so it's important for you to understand that, because most people, they just go to the one big housing authority, right? You're in Los Angeles, raise your hand if you've been to Wilshire. Everybody's been to Wilshire, right? But did you know that the city of Los Angeles actually have 3 offices that you can go to, right? If you're in Los Angeles, you can go to the one on Wilshire. I'm sure you've been there, right? You can go to the one in Torrance, right? That's where we're at. We're not at that location, but we're in Torrance, right? And then the third one is in Van Nuys, right? So those are 3 options you can go. There's different experiences, but similar process in terms of how you can apply for those different, affordable housing resources that they have. But I don't want you to spend all your time at these PHAs, right? Especially if you're in Los Angeles, because that's just one part of affordable housing that's available to you. Okay. If you're looking for like a Section 8 voucher, yes, you will have to go to the public housing authority to apply for a Section 8 voucher. There will be no other entity that will issue you a Section 8 voucher other than your local public housing authority. So if you need information about where's your public housing authority, feel free to reach out to us, right? You can reach out to us. Our nonprofit is Section 8 Management. We specialize in helping families identify subsidized housing resources. You can reach us at housing@section8management.com. Again, that's housing@section8management.com. And so, we want to make sure that you're spending your time, applying to the right places. Everything's a strategy. So what I like to tell people to do, like, just say like you're somebody who wants to apply for a rental subsidy. Okay. First thing I would do is ask you, have you went to your local public housing authority? That's one. Okay. And then I would say that you go to the other public housing authorities in your local community. So not just one, right? That you go to the other several that's in your local area, right? Because all of them have different waiting list times, right? And different processes on how to obtain those resources. And so I would ask you, have you gone to these different locations? If you don't know where to start, go Google, right? You can type in Google Public Housing Authority and put in your zip code, and it will pull up various lists of different public housing authorities in your local community. Okay. Second thing you do right, I advise people to do is get signed up with your Department of Social Services in your local community. Okay, most people know about the DPSS, or what are some other names people call it? It's pretty much a state funded program. Every state probably have a different name of it, but if you're in California, is Department of Social Services, right? And that's separate. That's a different track than public housing authorities. They're funded by the state, and so they have housing resources too. Okay. So if you go there, most people go there to get, they get their, what do they call it? Their food card, right? So if they have, if they have a need for food, they can get food card, they can get help with, money, cash aid. People also go there, right? They're experiencing homelessness, right? They also offer hotel vouchers. If you're, if you've never, like, if you're not really having a big challenge, but if you're about to get housed and you need help with a security deposit, you can also go to there to pretty much help them. They'll help you pay for your deposit, right? They help you pay for utility arrears and just various things, right? If you're a family, they have additional resources, right? So I just discussed some of the resources if you're an individual. But if you're a family, right, there's additional resources. They get you hooked up with like CalFresh, CalWorks, right? They have different resources in there, and they have housing subsidies too in these different programs, right? So that's another resource you can go, right? If you're looking for, housing resources, you go to your local Department of Social Service office, and they have several in local communities too. So I would recommend, if you're looking for your nearest office, go to Google and put DPSS or Department of Social Services in your zip code, right? And it'll pop up all of those offices that's nearby. Okay. Now, the third source that I want to bring to your attention is a part of continuum of care. There's a couple of buckets that those programs stem from. You still got a little HUD money, right? Like from the public housing authorities. Most of those are coming from the Department of HUD, right? And then the DPSS money is coming from your state. And then your continuum of care is a combination of HUD, your Department of Public Health, right? And then also the Department of Mental Health. So you're talking about three huge buckets that's combined, that's now competitive with your HUD budget, with your public housing budget. So mostly public housing authorities, they got the biggest budget when it comes to housing, resources, especially if you're like experiencing homelessness. But now you have continuum of care, or COCs, local COCs, right? Out here in Los Angeles, they call it LAHSA, Los Angeles Homeless Service Authority, right? And like I said, it's like a combination of entities that's working together, for housing assistance. Okay. So if you're in Los Angeles, you can, definitely go to the Los Angeles Homeless Service Authority as a resource as well. Now, the way that is structured is that, they have the big pot of money, right? All these different, places with money, they bring it in to your homeless service authority or your COC in your local community, right? And you have to go through these service agencies. They call them access centers, right? So if you're experiencing homelessness, or if you are homeless, right, they will give you an assessment. They'll determine your housing vulnerability, and based on your specific situation, they'll give you, they'll customize a housing plan for you. Okay. So everybody, will have a different situation, and based on your situation, you will be customized a housing plan. And I'm so sorry. We actually have somebody on the line. I wanted to introduce Felice. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, Felice. Hey, I was about to just go and never stop. But I want to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself. Felice, she's one of our newest members on our team with the housing business owners team. She supports us on many different capacities, but I'll let her introduce herself real quick, and then maybe we'll ask a couple of questions.
All right. Thanks, Tim. Hi, my name is Felice. I handle kind of new client intake. Um, and then I also work on contracting, looking for different contracts that we can apply for to help us expand our reach. Um, yeah, I don't know. Do you want me to add anything to that?
I mean, that's pretty much what you've been working on. Felice is amazing. We just submitted a RFP for a contract, San Gabriel Valley. What was that? That was like a couple of weeks ago now, right?
Yeah, that one was really to San Gabriel Valley. I would like to bring people on board, organizations that can help them streamline the process for um, tenants with Section 8 vouchers or voucher holders to find housing, because a lot of the um, communication between homeowners and tenants can be difficult, and that can lead to a lot of vouchers going unused.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of need for that, you guys. So I just want to pitch our organization, Housing Business Owners Membership program. You can, look us up on housingbusinessowners.com. We're a new membership program, pretty much created to provide housing professionals with the support and access to opportunities, to help fill these gaps in the marketplace, right? As Felice mentioned, the San Gabriel RFP, this contract that was made available to service providers, right? You know, uh, I forget, but there's opportunities, right, where you can serve your local community, and what we're doing is building a platform to help you build up your skills, right? Because it's definitely specific skills, definitely a knowledge base in which we want to upload into you, and so you could become a hero in your local community, right, and help people obtain those housing resources that they're looking for. There's a lot of funding, as I'm mentioning, all these different buckets and places in which, there's a lot of investment but being put towards these to these services. And so I really, if you're a housing person, like, we have a niche for you. We have an untapped niche, right, within the Section 8 community, right, that we want to train you, right, in our certified housing specialist program. It's pretty much it's been launched, but we're continuing to upgrade it. We're updating it as we speak. We actually have our project manager in the house. What's going on, Marquita? Yeah, and just, we're pretty much working to put this course together in a way that you guys are really gonna access, a lot of the stuff that you're probably gonna be interested in, how to make money doing this stuff. How to make money doing this stuff. And my thing is how to actually help people, like how to achieve the outcome, right? But we also want to make sure we create a blueprint in which that's easily understandable for you to also understand the financial opportunity, right? If you're interested in making an extra six figure, a year part-time, helping people navigate, affordable housing, right? This opportunity may be for you. Or maybe if you are already a business owner, right, and you're ready to take your business to the next level and compete for $1 million contracts, right? This opportunity is for you. And so, Felice, she had to drop off, right? But I just want you guys to have the opportunity to, just kind of hear what's going on, that what we're working on, and some of the people behind the scenes that's kind of helping this effort. Okay. So I was telling you about the third resource, which is the Los Angeles Homeless Service Authority, or if you're in another location, right, you want to put in Google Continuum of Care. So that's CONTINUUM of care in your zip code, right? And it'll identify the name of your continuum of care in your local community, right? And they all, like I mentioned, they go through service providers. And so, say if you join our housing business owners community, we will educate you on how to become a competitive service provider in your local community, right? They have RFQs, requests for qualifications, right? We'll help you put together your capability statement. We'll help you put together all your certifications that you need, right? We help you pretty much gain an advantage in your local community so you can win contracts. We're just not into, applying to contracts. We want to win contracts, right? And so we pretty much have a team of people. That's all they do. That's not all they do. Like Felice, like that's pretty much what she focuses on is looking for contract opportunities, and I'll have a whole nother third party program. Shouts out to Chris Johnson, right? You guys can look him up. He have a program that you guys can invest in if you're interested, but we already have access to him, so you don't have to. You can just join our housing business owners community, right? And you get access to those types of resources as well, where we can pretty much do research on your on your NAICS codes, on your SIC codes, right? It's important that you understand your classification of services and how you want to serve your local community, right? Maybe you're interested in senior housing, maybe you're interested in veteran housing, maybe you're interested in helping people find jobs, right? Whatever your classification is, right? We want to make sure that we help develop it so you can compete for these contracts. All right. So now that you know where to go, to apply for subsidized housing resources, right? Now it's about getting your ducks in a row. Like, what are they asking for? Like, what types of questions are they asking? Like, what do you need to do to make sure, like, when you apply, you probably get the help that you're looking for? One of the keys that I like to just, off the front, just mention is be as honest as possible about your situation, because there's going to be various assessments. They're going to ask for various documents and proof of documents, proof of statements. And the last thing you want to do is almost get approved for something. And then because maybe you weren't as accurate as you should have been, now you have to start over, or now you're not being provided that resource that you may need. So be honest the first time, get it right the first time, right? Because the last thing you want to do is start over. So it takes 30 days or less, right, to be able to access some of these resources. And so it shouldn't take that long. Some places, some resources take a little longer than others. So if you're like getting on a waiting list, and I'll give a little shout out to it's a website I have no affiliation with, but I like to utilize it to give people some information as to, hey, if you're literally trying to get on this Section 8 thing, because some people, that's just important to them and that's what they want to do. They want to get Section 8, right? Although I mentioned all the various other rental subsidy programs you can have access to. Say if you really want Section 8, because it is a long-term program, and if your income doesn't change, your level of support doesn't change, right? So there is a website called affordablehousingonline.com. Okay. And what they have there, they have open Section 8 wait lists. They have coming soon Section 8 wait lists. And they just do a good job in tracking where these PHAs are at in their process for opening up their wait list. Now, if a wait list is open in the area that you're not interested in, then just understand, I've seen in the past where people will get approved and in one area, and then they will port over their voucher to the area that maybe they're interested in living. Okay. And I've seen that done. They do have priority preferences in how they evaluate whether or not they want to enroll you in their program. And so just know that if you're not in the area, you're probably going to lose some points because you're not, you're not a neighbor, you're not in that community. But that doesn't, I still say apply, right? One thing that I encourage a lot of people to do when they're looking for housing resources is put as many irons in the fire until one gets hot. Okay, let these opportunities let it marinate, so to speak. Okay. Just last year, Los Angeles opened up their Section 8 waiting list, where they allowed 30,000 people to get on their waiting list. Okay, that was the first time they're opened up their waiting list in 5 years. Okay, and so that's an example of, if you get on that waiting list, right, it's possible that you could be on there for a while, or you'll have to wait that long in order for it to open up again. So don't wait on one resource, please. Right. There's, like I mentioned, there's over 3,600 public housing authorities in the United States. How about apply for about 6 of them? Right. Let's apply for 6. Let's identify some other resources. Let's go to DPSS. Let's sign up with them. Let's get our case. Let's get a case manager, right? Um, you'll be assigned one. Let's go to our continuum of care, right? Let's interview a couple of service providers, right? There's a myriad of service providers that can serve as an access center for you. What I tell people to do, or advise people to do, is to interview them, right? Don't just go to one, right? Usually in they're geographically assigned. So usually there's kind of like one lead agency, one lead service provider in particular area. Don't stop there. Say, hey, is there any other, service providers that I can also interview to see if they have some resources that'll work better for me. So if you don't want to have that conversation directly with that lead service provider, just call 211. 211 is an amazing resource. I didn't know about 211 until I worked for them in Orange County. 211 is a nationwide resource, which is great. And that's why we're able to really serve people nationwide, because we understand how all of these pieces come together to provide, access to the resources and the information that you need to navigate, the subsidized and affordable housing marketplace. And so, if you go to 211, you can call them or you can go online. And usually what they do, they already have these agencies, information. So you say, hey, can you text me or can you email me two different agencies that will serve this purpose? And they'll send it to you. They'll text it to your phone, right? They're an extremely helpful resource. I know most people know about 411, probably if you're, older. That was before Google, where we used to have to call 411 to get information on businesses and stuff like that. Like, that's not really a thing anymore, but they have 211. 211 is still a thing. They don't know that's usually hooked up with your local county, right? That provide human services in your community. There's different ways 211 get hooked up. It just depends on that community. But in Orange County, right, they were hooked up with the county. Pretty much as a provider, and we were the continuum of care for Orange County. 211 was the actual lead agency continuum of care for homeless services in Orange County. But anyway, not to get off on a tangent, you could definitely call them. You just dial the number 211 and press call, and you will get somebody based on wherever location you're in. It automatically ties you in, almost similar to if you call dial 911, it'll connect you to your local police department, wherever you're located or wherever that tower is most closely linked. Okay, so hey, I provided you guys 3 different places, huge different departments in which you can, obtain affordable housing resources, right? Or housing subsidies, what I like to call it. We specialize in Section 8 placements. We used to do a lot of housing placements for people in other programs that have those temporary rental subsidies. We tend to focus on the people with the vouchers, so that's why a lot of people are interested in getting the vouchers, mainly because a lot of our property owners, they want a subsidy. They want kind of a long-term situation that the rent portions isn't going to change after 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, which is what happens in some of the other rental subsidy programs, because they are more short term. But if you're somebody with a disability, a long-term disability, then there are some other long-term resources as well that I didn't mention. So if you're in Los Angeles, there was some bonds that was passed, Triple H, right? In most communities, they've been allocating a lot of money for trying to combat the homeless, epidemic in most of these big urban communities. So here in Los Angeles, they have that same thing. And so we just want to let you know, like, that's definitely available. All right. So one thing before I get that I want to talk about, it's another secret in regards to Section 8, was the low income house. Well, actually, it's not Section 8, but it's low income housing. So that is separate. We talked about those three. We talked about the public housing authorities. Now, low income housing is separate from the public housing authority. Okay, so when you see those low income buildings being built, there's a lot of new construction. They have nothing to do with the housing authority. Okay, and so that being said, right, they have their own waiting lists, right? So just in Los Angeles, there's been over 80 new affordable housing developments, right, within the last 2 years. So that's an opportunity for you, right? If you're someone looking for affordable housing to get on 80 different waiting lists, right? So that means putting 80 irons in a fire. Um, and I just recommend you do it. There's just a lot of resources available for that right now. There's a lot of new construction. If you need help navigating on how to find list of new construction that's available, that's classified as low income, reach out to us. Send us an email at housing@section8managers.com. And if you're a property owner or if you're an investor, right? If you're interested in developing affordable housing and learning how to get access to tax credits, grants, right? Subsidies that'll help you pay for some of the costs to develop affordable housing, reach out to us as well at our housing business owners at members@housingbusinessowners.com, right? One of our partners, they're developing a 82 units. It is a veteran community, right? It's in Riverside County. So it doesn't matter where you're at, right? We can assist you, but they already own the site, right? So they own, I think it was like 4 acres, and they wanted to do something. Now, first their idea was, hey, they were going to do trailers or kind of do like mobile home, do like a mobile home park, which is cool, right? I've seen different models in which that's very profitable. But after coming to us and trying to identify some resources that may be available to him, right now he switched up his whole idea. He developed actually a new entity, geared towards helping veterans, right? So we developed a business. We applied for pretty much some resources in his local community to say, hey, we understand that there's some homeless veterans, in your area. We want to make 80 units available, right? Meaning that those veterans, they don't have to go apply to VASH or go to the VA. I mean, obviously they would want to be connected. That's the easier way for them to access resources. But we can assist with that whole process. So they can just go to the building, apply, right? As long as they got their DD 214, right? And we can help you with that if you don't have that. If you're dishonorable, we can help with that if you have dishonorable discharge. But anyway, we help this property owner. We help this business professional in the housing industry. They're in the process of it, developing a veteran housing community in which not only are they going to have affordable housing, but they're going to have case management, right? And they're going to have different therapeutic activities available on site. So they're going to have a courtyard. It's really, the design is amazing, and I'll share it if I can. I think he actually was on our podcast last week. But yeah, we definitely share if we can. We like to share these different examples because um yeah, there's a lot of funding, a lot of resources available, and we want to encourage you. If you own a site already, right? I don't care if it's only 5,000 square foot, right? We can help you develop it as an affordable housing site. That doesn't mean you're gonna get less money on your property. That means we make it affordable for your tenant, right? So that means that maybe they have a subsidy in place, or maybe you get a contract, you get a grant in which you make your unit a project based unit, right? Which is a whole another, kind of way to interact with the housing authority, right? If you're a property owner, right, you can interact with the housing authority and make your building pretty much low income straight to them. So that's one way to do it. But like I mentioned, like there's tons of low income housing that you don't have to go through the housing authority to access low income housing, right? You can apply directly because these units have tax credits connected to their unit and all these different things. And so, and we can help you. We're a resource. All right. So I'm about to end, y'all. I just want to give you guys kind of like a summary of kind of like what we went over today. And I'll probably make a call because I wanted to bring on one of our other colleagues to kind of discuss what they've been doing to finding contracts. Okay, that's another secret we wanted. Felice had to go, but hold on just a sec. Hey, Arcelia. Hello? Hey, Arcelia, you here?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay, good. So I'm here.
Okay, what room is this? 103. Okay, can you come to 103? No, 102. Oh, 102. Come to 102.
Okay, downstairs?
Yeah, downstairs.
Okay, I'm there shortly.
All right. So you guys are lucky. We have one of our colleagues coming in. She don't even know yet that, but yeah, we're not gonna put her on blast because we only got one chair. But we're working on some contracts and stuff like that. Like I mentioned, we have like
Cool.
a group of eight people in of our highest level of our housing business owners group. As I mentioned, we just launched that. We have 3 different levels. We have our $240 level, we have our $480 level, and we have our business owner level, which is the $800 a month level. At that level, you pretty much have access to our team. We have full-time, contract grant writers, you got your business coaches, right? And we have our lenders, right? So we pretty much help circumvent the time it'll take for you to get access to what you need to take your business to the next level. Right. So I want to maybe share one place you can go to maybe identify some contract or grants opportunity. She could stay over there because ain't no chair over here. But one place is grants.gov. So grants.gov, they have grants available based on your SIC code, right? You can search it, and they email you every time an opportunity becomes available. Where's another place we could go for contracts and grants? We said good. We said that one. I put her on the spot, y'all. I know she's pretty much been on a long vacation, but like I said, like that we have a whole team. Like you guys met Felice, that's what she's doing. The other source is Ramp. We got Ramp. What's another one? There's just so many. I mean, Planet Bids. What's some other one? It's just a few, right? And I'll plug another resource. Smallbizpro.net, right? Smallbizpro.net is a back office resource for business owners, business professionals that'll help you not only be able to have all your compliance measures in place, but it'll also help you identify contracts, grants, opportunities, right? So they have a whole procurement, resource tab that will help you navigate all those opportunities, right? And there is an investment to partake in that site or that program, but hey, they're also a member of our program, Mr. Gilbert Buchanan. He's also an advisor in our community, and so you don't have to pay. Come through us, we help you navigate it. Okay, but you can definitely go directly to the resource and be able to identify these different opportunities. So that's it, man. If there's no questions or if you guys don't have any other thing, I mean, those are a few secrets that, I wanted to share to you today. We go a little deeper. We do a deeper dive in our certified housing specialist course. Again, we want to make that available to you if you're interested. You can email us at housing@section8management.com. Again, that certified housing specialist certification not only do you get a certification after completing it, but you literally now have downloaded it, and now you understand, you have a knowledge base on how to pretty much how to be a hero in your local community, how to be someone that you have an advantage in terms of how to find opportunities in your area more so than others in your area. And yeah, I just highly recommend it. We give a lot of free information out, but at the end of the day, we want to help you achieve your goals faster, you know, faster. And so, this is what the housing podcast is meant to do. We are your go-to place. And whether if you're a family or a business owner that want to take your goals to the next level, contact us and join us for the next episode. I'm your host, Till McDaniel. Thank you for joining us at the Housing Podcast.